Our Highline Voices, 106.5 KQWZ LP FM. Connecting Highline and our region. Share your story. Our Highline Voices, history, cultural heritage, art, performances, contemporary, pop culture. We are very motivated to provide a vibrant community museum and authentic social gathering place. It truly takes a village to raise a museum. Despite the challenges, our daily inspiration is our eagerness to build a stronger and more connected community. This museum is from the community to the community. Our passion is for our visitors to have access to a broad spectrum of information sources and cultural perspectives. Our Highline Voices.
Hi, everyone. This is Nancy from the Highline Heritage Museum. Today we have a very special guest. Yes, I do say that often. Everyone is special to me, but today is a very unique experience for me. She is such a beautiful person, and I hope that through this interview you will be able to see what I mean by that. Why are we doing this interview? This interview is for us to go beyond the walls of the museum. This is about not just doing a program that is inside. This is about going outside and reaching out to audiences that normally would not be able to come to the museum. Could be people who don't trust museums, could be people who have transportation issues, and so on. And so for all of you that don't trust museums, hope a little by little, we'll show you through your actions, our actions, that yes, we do care about that, and that we care about providing really cool content outside of the museum walls. And so today we have Kelly. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're just going to go from there. Thank you, Kelly, for allowing us to be here with you today, and I'm just super excited. So,
thanks for inviting me. I'm Kelly Lyles. I'm primarily a painter here in Seattle. Well, I guess I'm in Burien now, but I live in Seattle. But I also drive Artcars, those crazy decorated vehicles with all the stuff piled on top and painted. And I produce the car show, the Artcar show at the Fremont Fair every year in June. So come see my paintings and my cars in June.
Yes, you should see her. Even the car. I wish you would be driving by the museum right now. You can see her amazing car. So who is Kelly? I know you. I know the first time I met you, I was taken away. You took my breath away when I met you. I mean, it was right away an instinctual, an instant connection where the way you carry yourself, your first introduction without saying anything, and I'm going to share a little bit about that. Without saying anything, I saw a person who was just coming into the space. It brought light into the space, color, energy, and it's just a pure joy. The way she is, in the way, without saying, even if you don't know her, it's just right away, look at her and right away makes you smile. And so, I don't know, Kelly, it's always been an amazing to interact with you, and I do hope that people can get a little glimpse of that for this interview. So who is Kelly? And I know you as an artist, but I'm sure you are more than just an artist. So,
yeah, I think I am more than an artist in that I love painting. It's really hard to get started, like anything else in life. It's I had a painting teacher that once said, if you don't feel like painting, go out and paint for a few hours. You'll feel like painting. And it's true. I will clean every dish, do every errand versus going out to my studio. But once I start, it's a lot of fun, and it's really hard to stop. And I'm a night owl, but I have often thought that worst case scenario, I lose my finger or something happens, whatever, I'd still have a great life because I love theater. I love to read books. I love going to art shows, love museums. And no, they're not daunting in the slightest. And they're usually so grateful when people come in, or especially during COVID. I was going out to galleries every day. I was the only one there. They were, you don't have to buy anything. You're not expected to buy anything. And especially at a museum where you're not allowed to buy anything. Well, this one has a gallery with things for sale, but a lot of museums, the work is not for sale. So it's, I just have such a nice, well-rounded life. I don't have a day job, so that entitles me to run around and have an open schedule, and I like to fill it with as much fun and education. I like to lead art tours all over the world. I like to travel, and always on a dime, always on a low budget, because I don't make a lot of money, but I sure have a lot of fun. So
For if you don't know Kelly, there are a lot of the things about her is not just the way she dresses or the car she uses or even her house. Her house is crazy beautiful. It's been on TV because of how beautiful that is, and it's just how original, creative, and fresh and fun. But then as we get to know each other more, and then also connecting through social media, it is true. She goes through galleries. And I love it's almost like when I don't have the time, which I don't. I honestly don't have much time to go around. It is almost like through her photos and through her experience, that she's keeping everyone up as okay, what's happening around, and it's a really cool thing. Art. What is art to you? I know that you say art right now. You tap a little bit into artists as a painter, but then you tap into you like play, you like theaters, you like books. But even if this doesn't apply to you, what is art to you?
Oh boy, that's a tough question. I've never thought about it. And I'm not a deep person. I have to say that right off the top. I pride myself on my superficiality. There's somebody said, well, if you can recognize you're superficial, then you're not superficial. So it's a double. But I don't look too deeply into stuff. It's just stuff but I do think art really brings a whole nother dimension to life. I think some people say it saves lives, and I've had that reality with friends of mine who, their friends ended up all dead or in jail. They chose art. They somehow found art and ended up with a career. But it brings, you learn a lot. You see other people's experiences. And a lot of the art I like is playful and humor. I enjoy, which is not the strongest media in the Northwest. I think we take ourselves a little seriously in the Northwest because we want to be thought of as a bigger city than we are. That's my pet theory. But anyways, so I'm not saying that, stuff has to be deep and heavy, but it just, every artist is making something out of their own world. And it's just fun to see all those thousands of world. And I'm in a painting group, and I should say painting group. I go do quick sketches. The rest of them get there at 10:30 in the morning. I get there at 12:30. I've got 1 hour. They have 3 hours. So they're painting, I'm drawing. But in that group, we're all painting this costume model. Everybody's version is so completely different. It's just kind of crazy. And most of them, most people will focus on the head. But, there was one guy who always focused on the hands. I like the whole body. I like the shadows. Everybody's got a different version, and we're looking at the exact same thing. It's just your own brain interpreting it, or what you find, what you personally like. Though, conversely, I'm a real tight painter. And the paintings I like are really loose paintings, because to me, that's what I can't do, or I don't have that, I don't relax enough to do it. I'm very hyper. I think you've got to maybe trust your guts more, but also, it takes a lot of strength to do loose, wild brushwork.
Yeah.
That I don't know that I've got. But anyways, I'm just saying you might admire what you can't do versus what you particularly like.
Yeah. And I was not fair to you, me asking you that question, because that was something that we did not discuss, but it just came organically when we're talking about, what art and how you will enjoy art. Throughout the years is coming up for me, and having these conversations with multiple people. It's just expression of who we are, expressing an emotion, expressing something that is trapped and that needs to go out one way or another, that we are really either because of, I don't know, there could be many different factors and reasons why, but at the end of the day, is somebody releasing that out somehow. And there is a medium to do that. You talk about your friends, and then I know that we're going to be tapping into recovery and what that means to do that. But art in general, I think that is a beautiful way of how we experience people's emotions in my head. That's how I see it. And yes, what is art? And then all the different, from writing to films to all the artistic expressions. It's a really complex term. And one clarification, we do sell things in a gallery, but it's outside in a free area public. So
Mhm.
ethically, like you said, we should not be selling things inside the museum, which we don't.
Mhm.
We don't sell artifacts. We don't sell anything is inside the museum.
Mhm.
We use that public space area in the conference room as just a public space, and it's something that just as a notification, we don't get commissions or anything from anything that is selling there. It's completely giving the opportunity for artists to. We're just offering the space for them, so we don't get anything in return, and we're okay with that. Going back to you today, to you. So now that we're tapping into what art is and how we get introduced as we exchange with people, loose, tie, and then is how we interpret that, how we enjoy that, how we take that in. Um, Talking a little bit about recovery, what is the connection between the term recovery and art?
Well, in a way, art helps you recover from everything because it's a way to express your own feelings. But I personally, sobered up from drugs and alcohol almost 38 years ago, 37 and a half years ago. And you sure got a lot more time on your hands and you got more money on your, I don't make a lot of money, but I got a hell of a lot more than I used to when I was paying, $10 a cocktail and having to do lavish tips to the bartender. So it's just, it does. And I also think recovery, you get to know yourself more. It takes a few years. They always say you stop maturing at the age that you started drinking or drugging, whatever. And I really do believe that's true. I think a lot of us I was sort of frozen in time as a 13 or 14-year-old. I was a blackout drunk as a young teenager. So you pick up, you get started again when you put the cork in the bottle or give up the drugs, and you have to rediscover yourself to some level. And you certainly have to learn to like yourself more, I think, too. Because a lot of us, there was so much shame and embarrassment and, legitimately so. We did some stupid crap and some horrible and mortifying. And I still go to AA meetings and NA, but to me, it's all the same stuff. And there's some horrifying stories, but a lot of us laugh at them. Your worst memories are a shared memory among us all, and there's our mortifications are pretty darn funny when you look at it in context. And that was one of the first narrative series of paintings I did, was a series called The 12 Steps, and it was 12 paintings of, drunks and junkies in compromising positions that I found all too familiar. It was waking up to a stranger and losing your car. Where's the car? The empty garage. And trying to give a drug dealer a check. And I can't remember what they all were. Oh, they're causing car accidents. And I'm the few times they've been shown, they're not overly popular in terms of a gallery because they're not that saleable. I mean, they are. I've sold a few of them, but of the other more fun, playful series. But when they have been shown, people have said, "Oh, you're so brave," show it. And it's like, why would that be brave? It was my life, and it's reality. There's nothing brave about it, and I can laugh at it now. And I did all those things, peeing in public.
Oh boy.
But we did it. That's what it's very common. So it's you get to exercise your demons in recovery, and it gives you a lot more time again to paint, to do whatever you love. And when I say I stereotype art as visual art, which of course it isn't. There's dance and theater and opera and everything else. I personally like the things that have some visuals to them. Like I can't stand the symphony, but I like opera because there's a lot of costumes and bright colors and drama. I like, I'm not a dance person. I'm not and performance art, some of it I get, some of it I don't get, but it's always fun to go see. And in terms of art, just when you were saying what is art, I was with 4 friends one time. We were at a sculpture show where things are just scattered all over. We were late, so we were driving instead of walking, and we saw this pile of rubble, and there was 4 of us. 2 of us thought it was a sculpture. 2 of us thought it was a pile of rubble. They were remodeling the building. Never did find out what the truth is.
Wow.
But that's art.
It is, it's, to me, it's intriguing. I mean, as you're talking, I'm coming up with hundreds of questions, and I'm only going to be able to answer a few of them. I mean, quite ask a few of them. But at the end of the day, is this experience, a shared experience about healing and finding yourself within the art that you produce. And I do think you're brave. I think you're very brave. And you know what part is being exposed for people to actually to say something about it. And so that is a part, is because you're being vulnerable. It's like you're stripping down your clothes, and then people can see you, and they can see all the different areas of you. Um, and it is terrifying. It's terrifying to be in that vulnerable place, but at the same time, what a better way to to empower yourself. What a better way to take that experience and like, this is me. I'm learning from it. I'm taking care of business, and I'm enjoying and making just laughing about it, because it's another way of healing through the process. But I think that yes, it's a bravery thing, and I will like to recognize that you are very strong, because people can be superficial in a way of only covering what they feel, and you don't do that. You do both. You have fun within yourself, inside out. You're able to take in it and say, this is me, and regardless, and just use that fire and bring that joy in within yourself to say, it's okay. It's okay. I would love to see those paintings. I would love to see what it means to, all the different areas and stories that are attached to recovering. And the end of the day, it's about pain too. When you use the word recovering, you use about healing. You use, it's something there. It's something that is causing pain. You can either consume yourself with the pain and be numb, which to me, that's what it means, is just getting alcohol or drugs, things like that. You're just numbing that pain, or grab that pain and say, yeah, it was there, but then turn it into something different and express it in a way that it has more power to it. Power not necessarily in and then disappearing, but power of using that experience and add it into who you are, who you truly are. You are, yet pain is a real factor, but you are more than pain. You are, the pain it might be one little mosaic piece. You are more than that. And so you're grabbing that into, okay, come this way, and then from this way, let's mix something together. Let's do something that embraces you as a human being. So that's what I see. I see you fun. I see you with joy. I see you always laughing. I see you having this invitation to just be you. And that's just a freedom. And just, I think that that's what I see you with 100% freedom, with just being you. That you are not, but for you to get to that position is because you already went through this journey. And you already have that self-reflection. You already have this hesitation. And so to me, it is like the graduation of you graduating to the freedom of just being you. And that's what I love about you. I absolutely adore you. We celebrated your birthday party here at the museum.
Birthday party.
Oh my goodness. And all your friends. And if you would think, I was thinking, okay, it's just gonna be, it would be fun. I never expected everyone to want to have fun. So what you created that night was contagious. And what you do with you and the festival, let's just say the car show, it's contagious. What you do in your paintings and people buying from it, it's contagious. So people going to your house and do a TV show out of it, it's contagious. And so it is a really, really cool. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you, everything that you do, and how you just take life by the horns and let's just have fun with this. And it's just like I say, don't take life too seriously, to the point that you're so serious that there's no joy going in.
And it's true. We're all self-absorbed. I mean, that's just human nature. You have how could you be anything else? That's all we know is ourselves, our internal little crap. But nobody else cares as much about you as you do. So it's like, get over it. You're not the center of their world. They're the center of their world. So we're not, we shouldn't take ourselves so seriously. And I'm not to imply, I am actually pretty political, and I get involved in every petition and march and whatever, but that shouldn't prevent you from having joy in your own life. And that's when all these horrible things, the wars, whatever, what they want is a joyful life of the outcome. They don't get it right. but it's not, our guilt shouldn't prevent that. And I do talk about recovery very publicly because I think I always say the poster child. No, I'm the poster old lady. I'm pretty old, but for having a good time. I think everybody sees that we're just going to be sitting around miserable in church basements, drinking bad coffee and, crying a lot. No, it gives you the freedom to have a good life. And I had some really horrible things happen when I was young. I think every female drunk has, and probably every male, but they made me what I am today, which is a person with a great life, and you have to be able to recognize it. But there's an AA thing that says you're only as sick as your secrets or whatever. So I don't think I have any secrets. I mean,
Wow.
maybe some hygiene issues, but overall, I don't have a lot of secrets.
You
And,
release them
it's
all.
like the more you air it, I can never be a politician because I've done some crap in my life. But other than that, and I tell people the crap, so that's why it wouldn't take
Yeah.
long to unearth that. And I know I can never run for office. But there's nothing really that I could be blackmailed over because I'm the first one to tell you.
That is amazing, inspiring. To me,
Yeah.
you're an inspiration of just releasing everything, just strip down everything. I had an experience actually here at the museum where the first drawing class that we did, the new ones, I was the model. I took up my clothes on the very first one.
That's guts. Now that is bold. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's brave.
I don't know. So it was not planned. Trust me, it was not planned. My daughter was there. My mother-in-law was there. So it was not planned at all. I didn't know when I woke up that day that I was going to do that. But then whatever factors, reasons, I had to be the one that or cancel the whole thing. And so like, okay, we're just going to go for it. But one thing that I learned through that experience is that being naked, that's probably why I use that analogy so often, because I know what it is to strip down your clothes and in the eyes of people that you don't know them at all. And so I remember that my daughter was in a corner and I called her and her name is Sophia. I said, Sophia. And I started removing some of my clothes, and she said, "Oh no, are you serious?" And I just nodded my head. And then I asked her immediately, "Are you okay with that?" And she just looked at me for a second. Yeah, why not?
Good for her.
Okay, and so that gave me the freedom to do that. But then once I was in the room, I had the towel or the cloth around me, and so when when she was in the corner, I turned around to her and I just take off I got naked facing her. I have a lot of scars in my body, so it's not something, oh my God, I'm proud or I'm happy. No, I have a lot of really bad scars. And so it's not like, yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
It was more confronting those scars and what represent those scars and be okay with it. Be acceptance that yes, nobody's perfect. Nobody that my body is all messed up and it's okay that I'm doing it in front of people, and knowing that my daughter was okay with it and actually empower me. A lot of people might not agree with it. I know that. I have a conversation with her later on, and sure enough, like I say, it was not planned. It was the last minute thing, but at the end of the day, it was really good because I think she saw a lesson that I was really born of. And she at the end of the class, she's like, "Oh, you're so shy about it." Like, I don't know why, but then because and through the class you had to change positions. So the first position was facing her. After that, I feel more comfortable, so then I changed position, and then slowly I started to be more naked to everyone else. Yeah, but at the end of it, the last position, I was completely just comfortable with it. But I learned a lesson, and I probably won't do that again. But not because it was a bad experience, just because I think once is enough.
Yeah,
I don't
once
have to
is
do
plenty.
it. I don't know. But the idea is confronting this. Once you're exposing yourself, then it was nothing. Then nobody can say, "Hey, you scared this and that." No, because I'm the one giving them permission to see them. I'm the one who's letting them in and like, okay, look at how mess I am. And I had the freedom.
Yep.
It was a sense of freedom that I have no experience before that. And so it might not be the same thing where you're saying about you recovering and just letting people and share your experiences, but it's liberating and it's inspiring to find there's not that many people who can do that. you might have a PhD title and you might have all the money and all the power in the planet. But if you are afraid of yourself, if you are afraid of people seeing through you, I don't know who is more powerful internally, the ones that have power to the public or the ones that have power within themselves. And so I see you as a very inspiring person.
The one who's way too chicken to take her clothes off. I would be
We have a
terrified.
different, we fight in different ways. So we have a little demons in different ways. But yours is, I mean, you know, you talk about the 12 steps and then in not only sharing the title of what they are, but actually painting. It takes hours. And we actually, before this interview, we were talking a little bit about painting. It's not a 1 minute thing.
No.
You actually, and for you, when you said that you're a tight painter, that you go through so many details, you take your sweet time in creating them. So you really investing in so many hours and into one of each one of those pieces. And so we're talking about 12 steps. You literally taking each step and you taking your sweet time and creating those pieces. And behind it, there is an emotion that goes attached to what you're doing. And so I cannot imagine like going through one of them. And I don't know. So tell me, what makes you so colorful? Do you get inspired by somebody? Is somebody that allows you to be who you are? Did somebody took your hand and like, you know what, be free? Because that's what you're doing to me. You inspire me to be more free and more colorful. Do you have anyone in your life that drove you in and like, come here and I want to show you it's okay to be that free and colorful?
I was always a very obstinate child about my clothes. I remember my mother kept trying to talk me out of wearing my pajamas to school, and she couldn't talk me out of it. They were cute pajamas. We lived overseas, and in every passport, I'm wearing something different. But I remember wanting to wear a tutu in one of my passport photos.
Oh my God.
So I always had I was voted Miss Mod in high school because I was really into clothes. Even so I've always been into clothes.
Would
And
you
I'm,
like
I'm
to
pretty tame today. To anyone not that can see this, I had a doctor's appointment of somebody I've never met, and I thought I better look a little more toned down because usually I have a way more fun hat on, and it's also pouring rain and theoretically snowing, so I wanted. But normally I'm far more colorful. Yeah, I've got Ouija.
Yeah,
I've got my Ouija board.
Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that fun?
The shoes have some kind of accessories and jewels on them, but normally I'm far more colorful and but no, I hear all the time. I mean, the same kind of thing of you're brave wearing color. But Seattle is this gray, rainy town. Why isn't there more bright colors? You go to Miami. I was at the Miami Art Fairs a few weeks ago, and everybody is in pink and gray and yellow, which I love. But it's also why not reverse it? You know, or they can use some cooling off. They could be wearing blues and grays and greens, and we could be wearing oranges and pinks and purples that would brighten up this dreary drizzle. I was once on a panel discussion about fashion, and I was whining about not being enough color in this town. And one of the people actually said, "No, there's three of you. There's Purple Mark, there's Dee Dee Rainbow, and there's you." Just 3 people out of 1,000,000. You just made my point.
Oh,
and
goodness.
Dee Dee was she dressed like a clown, or not clownish with the she was fun, but again, she was all rainbows and sparkles, and it was not regular people clothing.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of we could use a little more color in this town.
And that's how I can tell when I'm kind of sad or depressed, is by the colors that surround me. I remember through life, I'm not going to go into details, but the different episodes, I can see wearing black and wearing grays and going through all those colors. And then after my daughter was born and finally found some sense of what it means to live life, that's when I started introduced by all the colors, and they're like, oh my gosh. And so I know I'm not wearing colorful clothes. My favorite color is red, actually. And then if you see some of the photos, I know, even on our social media with color, you see a lot of color, and there's a lot of play, and it's a joy. To me, I don't know why I think that color is attached to joy. That if you let that color in, if you let that energy in, if you let the vibes of it's just contagious. If you're wearing black clothes, if you're wearing gray, well, what does that talk to you? What is, I mean, yes, you might fit in, you might be able to people treat you, with, I don't know, more seriousness, but at the end of the day is this lack of joy that I think is going to haunt us inside. And that's what it was happening to me. It was haunting me inside, just having this really selected clothes. Now, we are not advertising that anyone who's wearing those clothes is wrong. But I'm just saying that it's like songs. You can change the songs as you want to, and then maybe one of those days you would like to bring some color into your day. But yeah, I love how you like I say, you're contagious in many different ways, either through your art or through your social media presence or even the way you dress or the car that you're wearing. I'm sure that you get a lot of people commenting on your car when you're driving around.
Yeah. And in the grocery store, people say, "Oh, that must be your car outside." Everybody can tell right away who drives that car. But I do think color is disarming, and it's not intentional or anything. But I was dating a guy years ago, and he'd say, "When we're together, people smile at us. When I'm alone, they don't smile."
Wow.
I had never thought about it, but and wherever I go, travel, I hear the French are so unfriendly, and the New Yorkers. No, I had the doors of a subway open in New York, and this woman just said, "I love you," and walked away. I mean, I have that kind of stuff, and in France, people are, inviting us to things. And I don't think I'm an axe murderer dressed in fuchsia, and that I'm not gonna rob you. Odds are they would find me in a second. So I think there's something too. I also smile a lot. It's hard to turn off the smile, but I was in a photo shoot and it kept saying, "You can't smile." That was but I think color is on some level and bright is disarming. I think people tend to think I'm more eccentric than I am, because I dress fairly flamboyantly, which I've got my taxes done already. It's January. I'm in, and I like following rules. Like, oh, there's rules are there for a reason. I'm pretty organized. I pay my bills on time, and even as a drunk, I always paid my bills on time. So I'm a little more straight and narrow than I appear, I think. But I curate shows and produce things, and there's always a lot of paperwork involved. And I think I'm pretty good about that kind of stuff, which for some reason, dressing flamboyantly, they think is a contradiction, which I don't think it is at all.
I don't think so. I think it just shows that your brain is operating fully, meaning that you have your side who's organized and analytical and all that, and then functional. And then the other one, with it changes the freedom of it. I do believe that it changes your mood. I do believe that it really, the times that we have has this is like my playground. It is in a communal playground here at the museum. When we do something that is fun, and either like the Claw Museum or like dressing up or painting or Halloween or something, it's just always so cool to do those things on those times. But what happens when you actually make the time to do it as a part of your routine, as a part of who you are? And I don't question it. Yes, people smile at you for many reasons. And it's just because it's you bring that. And that's the first thing I said starting the interview. Like, you make me smile nonstop the whole time. And then there's something about her. So she has the skills, and she's curated. We actually hosted an exhibit here with you. The mothers.
We did like mother, like daughter.
Yeah. That was a very impactful one.
Yeah.
And you would not be, I don't know if you would be surprised. One of the most significant feedbacks that I got from that exhibit did not come from any adult. It was during the field trips, the kids, because I will ask questions. One of the emphasis I would like to make sure that people knows is that, this place should be not for one age specific or gender or demographics. It should be for everyone. And so one thing that I would like to ask when we're doing educational trips, it doesn't happen all the time, but just so you know, the teachers, I talked to the teachers before that, but I asked the questions, go around the gallery and find something that you connect with. And so imagine the little kids going to the exhibit and seeing the different representations of a mom and what a mom is. I mean, that's what the first thing they know is what a mom is. And so their feedback, so they came back and they will be asking questions, and there will be some really interesting comments about how they associating, how they connected with that exhibit. And so that was a powerful. It is, because I know that you still rotate that
Yep.
one. Is there the that exhibit is anywhere right now?
No, it came down recently. It's called Like Mother, Like Daughter, and it's up to 40 artists in town. And we did sneak in not in town, but in Washington, we snuck in a few men because I really like their art. So it's artists. It's a variety. It's artists doing a piece about our own mother, not motherhood, not you as a mother. It's your mother. And then next to each piece, there is a statement telling a story about the mother. And it can be one line. Some people wrote 2 pages, and I told them it had to be one. But they're very powerful stories. Most of them are sweet. Most of us loved our moms, but some fascinating. We had some really interesting moms. A couple people did not like their mothers, and some horrible stories. And that's all the more powerful to me.
Yeah.
The one woman didn't want to put her little written blurb in because she said, no, I had a difficult mother. And I said, good, add some spice to the, every recipe wants some sugar and some, some spice mixed in with all that sugar. So, but it's sculptures, there's photography, there is video, there is textile art, there's everything. It's not a bunch of paintings of mothers. There's only maybe 4 paintings or 5 paintings, but out of 40. So it's a really, they said they had to keep Kleenex at the desk at the one museum because people had brought up a lot of emotion. It's just came down from one venue in December. It is going to be at the Kirkland Art Center next in March and through the end of March through April. And then May, it will be over at there's a new gallery in Port Angeles, and I'm blanking on the name. This is mortifying. I just met with the curator. She's or the gallerist. She was a lovely woman. And I haven't actually been to the 2 Port Townsend to see the gallery, but I pitched it to her and she liked the idea, and so we're excited. So I want to keep it moving around the state. It's been in 11 places already, so this will be the 12th and 13th. It's been here. It's been at the Tacoma Art Museum. It's been at Art Exchange Gallery in Pioneer Square. It's been, and at the Tacoma Art Museum, somebody wrote a note saying, this is the best thing here. So it's a really wonderful show. And I'm very impressed with the caliber of artists that we got because, I'm about the middle of the pack in terms of art in Seattle, but we've got some rock stars in there. We've got some people that their work sells for, 20 grand, and they jumped at the chance to be in it. And I'm thrilled. We've got some.
We got 5 minutes left, and just wish that we got a little bit more time because, the fact that people want to jump into a concept like that, the question will be why? Why is it that people would like to not only express their own art, but do it with a group in a specific theme? And then in a very specific that theme, because that is one of the most personal topics you can tap into of all, that's your first early memories is with this topic. And so I would just wish we have a little bit more time to really dive into why do you think artists will like to collaborate, and it's 40 on them. And then you're right, the art is absolutely stunning and beautiful. And this is just it was quite experience to host it, but it was more to really dive into how different we all are and how do we express in our views and how we connect with each other. At the end of the day, regardless of how spicy or how sweet it was the same common ground of sharing something to the public that it had to do with something so personal, so close. Another time, I will ask you more about that. So we got a few more minutes left, and I would like to just give you the open mic to just share anything else that you like, either out of comment, which you already did, but if you have any other exhibit or a project that you would like people to buy, or more about Kelly, more about an invitation about it being themselves, or color, anything. So this is an open space, anything that you felt that you were not able to express.
Ooh, that's a tough one because I think we act a lot. Nothing in specific. I'm in a few group shows now, and I would say, if you care, go to my website. Well, except for I'm not very good at maintaining my website. I mean, in terms of posting what the new shows will be.
Yeah.
But my website is kellyspot.com, KELLYSPOT.com. I do have a contact, and then I would add you to the mailing list or not, if you want to be on it. Because I'm in probably 6 shows at any given time. I always have a lot of balls in the air, which is the way I like it. Just got back from Croatia. I led art tours all over the world, and that is fantastic, meeting artists in other countries. And I call it visual snacking. The big complaint I get is that we do too much every day of going to all these studios and galleries and museums and seeing all the historic landmarks. We're not going to skip the Great Wall of China to go to somebody's studio. Obviously, we do it both. But it's just so cool to see the universality all over the world. We've all got stuff in common. We've all got a lot of differences, but there's as many differences in the USA as there is in countries all over the world. So hope to do one to Japan next year. Hope to go on a trip to Bali in a couple months.
Oh my God.
So yeah, there's so many ways. I actually did a talk in Tacoma at this cool high school that's all an arts. It's a public school, but it's all focused on the arts. They were amazing kids, but they brought me into actually a math finance class to talk about how to live on very little money as an artist. And I had 2 pages to hand out. There's so many ways to get by without spending a lot of money, and what little money I make, I use for buying art, because I love art. And my house is it's sort of like order level of an art collection, but at least it's all on the walls, so you can certainly walk through. And travel. And I love to travel on a budget, frequent flyer miles and friends' couches, or I write 600 Christmas cards, which is erotic. I get it, but I'm keeping a lot of invitations open all over the world. I want to stay in touch. So there's a method to my madness. But I really love people. I think I'm a pretty good painter. I think I'm a pretty good this or that. I'm a pretty good cook. I'm a pretty good this. I'm a pretty good that. But I'm really good at connecting people. And every day I get a phone call as simple as, who do you know who can fix my washing machine? Or, who do you know that could be a sculptor? Who do you know that could illustrate my book? I have thousands of friends, and it just makes the world. I've delivered 4 birthday cakes today.
Oh my gosh.
They're crappy cakes. I'm a terrible cook and baker, but I modify a Betty Crocker and get in a car. But it's just community is the answer.
Yeah.
And they keep saying, even with the recovery thing, it's all about community. I don't know if that's true or not. I think some of it is biological as well as psychological. But I do think community is the answer for a good life, building friends and building friendships, and just having people you can call on for the simplest thing. We need people. People need people. Oh, that's so deep.
I went to your house not too long ago, and it is true, all her walls is literally you're looking at a museum. Just amazing. It just takes your breath away everywhere, and it's so beautiful. But one thing that I didn't notice is that you keep greeting cards, and it's a lot of
only
people.
on my birthday or Christmas or something like that. I still have my Christmas stuff up.
No, but what it was beautiful is also a lot of the art that you have is also been given us to you as gifts. And it was evident to me, even without me going deep into what is this, what is that, what is that, what is that. Look how each one of those paintings, it was like a presence right there next to you. And it was a sense of community that you're speaking of. I just feel that. I feel that you have, even in a small space, you have a room full of life. Of so many people around you, and those connections, and either through words or through the art or through the energies. I do believe in energies in the space, or in how you transfer them into a piece of art. But no, it is. See, I hope that you were able to capture a little bit as to who she is. It's not even a particle of who she is as a person, but it's just, which is really excited about this interview, and it just bring joy. I hope you could feel a little bit of joy in saying, you know what, you do have permission to be you. You have permission to say, yes, I want to be in a community. I don't, I struggle with when I'm in pain, I isolate myself completely, and I'm afraid of getting too attached because my reaction is to just push away. I'm too scared of it, and part of me, oh, I'm okay if I'm myself. Part of me says, but no, you're right. I think it's biology, is psychology, is emotionally that we are wired to connect to another person, to another human being.
Yep.
And you are showing us many different ways to do that. And so, my dear friend, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to do this interview. And everyone out there, I hope that you were able to enjoy it. And just check her website. It will be, and we're probably going to be put that on the description under the YouTube video that we'll be putting on our YouTube channel. So you will have no excuse. Like, I didn't catch that. Well, you can go find it. It's right there on the description, and you can follow her, and then you can just inquire more about the things that she does. So Kelly, once again, thank you.
Thanks. It was fun.
Thank
Fun
you.
hanging out with my friend.
Yes. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Our Highline Voices, 106.5 KQWZ LP FM.
We envision ourselves sitting at a round table where no one is the leader and stories are heard respectfully, regardless of gender, age, sexual orientation, disabilities, or ethnicity. We want to embrace our differences and similarities. We are creating a place where visitors can connect with the stories and each other. Our mission is, we collect, preserve, and tell the stories of the Highline region and its people. We want to extend our mission outside the walls of the museum. Our Highline Voices represents us all, honoring our past, celebrating our present, and uniting to cultivate our future. This project allows us to reach out to demographics who might be unable to visit the museum. People with disabilities, low-income families, people who don't trust museums, and more. In partnership, we are launching a locally programmed new radio station at the museum, featuring recorded and live Highline's heritage, history, culture, arts, and more. Are you interested in sharing your story? Email director@highlinemuseum.org.